Beyonce signed a $100 million deal with Disney for 4 parts of a contract. Now that that contract is up, everything now has come full circle, and Jay-Z, who's not signed to Disney, is being blamed for screwing up the Mufasa launch, which was estimated to make anywhere from 50 to 75 million in its opening week. The opening weekend, it was supposed to make that amount of money they anticipated with the Mufasa, and people were looking for the Lion King prequel. But it was just shockingly beaten up by these allegations of Jay-Z and this false lawsuit, in my opinion, about this sexual assault this woman claimed Diddy had with Beyonce, well, not Beyonce, with Diddy and Jay-Z together with this woman, in which Jay-Z has been venomously coming frontlining, trying to get this suit removed, as he's saying, you're not going to play with me, as the media continuing to act as if this is real, which is a shock because normally upscale magazines don't carry this. Now, when Jay-Z's lawyer, Alex Spiro, said, well, they're not friends, that's not true. But just for him to come out and say it, it doesn't make it so. But it hurts Beyonce because people are like, why are you standing next to a man like this? As many women look at them and they see these two together, they start to wonder and ponder about people's perception of them, and oh, do they share Beyonce? They say so many egregious things about the two, but leave no doubt about it, Jay-Z and this Lion King and everything that's come along with it, he's not a part of it, but she is. So now it comes down to a question of, what is you? What are you? What is your brand? What is your identity? And Beyonce keeps her fame by galvanizing black women. And Lemonade, and you cheated on me, and how dare you cheat on me, and, basically villainized her own husband and to get success out of it. And she stayed with him, of course, and it was all a plot. She was never leaving him. But now Jay-Z's pushing 60. The hair is all molded, matted up looking wig and extensions. And he's no longer the flashy, low-cut hair guy that's out there. Now he's part of the culture. He's not Young Hov no more from the streets of Marcy. He's this, tycoon billionaire with his billionaire wife and their brand. But now, Bob Iger and Disney are concerned because they just got beat by a hedgehog. In a third installment of a film, Sonic the Hedgehog came through, and Sonic 3 just blew everything out the water. Blew it out. And they did 35 million, which is like way below the numbers that they were thinking that they were going to do. Sonic opening week was hoping to get 40 million. Never did they anticipate on doing like 70 million. That was supposed to be Mufasa. Now, Lion King and everything about Lion King doesn't really grasp a lot of the kids based on the music. This one seemed more adult themed than it is for the kids. And that's probably why the turnoff in the marketing of it didn't make it seem fun. It made it seem violent. or an evil, which the Lion King movie was. It was really dark, but that's what made it interesting. You had songs, you had Pumbaa, you had all those things to make it exciting. This didn't seem like that. You didn't seem the joy and the fun of it. You seemed more dark and sinister. As they're running on the run, him and Scar, you're going to find out why, these things happen to them. As I want to find out why Scar now a white lion when he wasn't a white lion before. So all of these things come front line and center. Well, when you are somebody who's used to performing, you used to being on that stage, being in the light, you start to see where things go left. And when I mean left, I mean the left. and Hollywood, and how everybody is perpetuated, and how they're pushed and marketed. Then you start to understand, okay, wait a minute. This is bigger than the Super Bowl. Now this is messing up Blue Ivy's deal with Disney. And she's finna get a new extension worth $250 million. And in that $250 million that she's looking for, in that $250 million, you're talking about at least Blue Ivy getting a 20-something plus million dollar deal where she's going to be doing animated voices, and Beyonce's creating her own series where Blue Ivy's going to be starring in that, where Jay-Z is going to be producing, and find a way to weasel his way into the Disney brand. Now, here's where the problem kicks in at. Disney doesn't want Jay-Z. They don't value him at all as anything that could help them. This whole thing has torpedoed them. Bob Iger was upset Jay-Z got into the promotional photo for Mufasa, and they feel that most parents and families are staying away based on these Jay-Z accusations, and they're blaming that tens of millions of dollars have been lost due to the involvement of Jay-Z into this project. Now, I have no proof of the fact that that's the case. That's what happened to him. That's exactly what happened. That's why he did it. That's what things fell apart. But one thing's for sure, two things for certain. I wasn't going to stick around to find out. So what I actually did was make it a way where you could not, ignore the facts. And the facts of the matter are, and they always stood the same, Beyonce Knowles is a product, okay, and an identity. And Jay-Z built that brand. And he's like, hey, you can't have Beyonce and not have me. It's not gonna work. We're double-edged sword. You wanted Beyonce, I had to sign off on that. So I come along with the deal. If there's a soundtrack, I'm gonna be on it. My child's gonna be on it, even if y'all don't want me on it. I'm gonna produce it. I'm gonna do something, but Jay's gonna be involved. We're a brand. So now, when one half of the brand is affecting the other in a negative because of this, and he don't get a chance to go over and dissect it down to what it should be, now you're in a conundrum. I mean, Mufasa, Christmas Day hasn't come out yet. And that's the big problem, because now heavyweight movies are coming out on Christmas Day. You're going to have the Nosferatu come out on Christmas Day. It's going to be a lot of people at home watching movies, a lot of people going out of their way on Christmas Day to watch movies. It's going to be a lot of things going on and transpiring that usually don't transpire on those days. Now, when you start looking at all of the things, the particulars involved, it's a bit of a problem when you start to look at it in totality. You start to see that this is a display that just doesn't make any sense to the masses, and it don't make a lot of sense to the general public, you know. Now, what other people do and don't do isn't my problem. It isn't my responsibility. It isn't, my ideals of how Hollywood work and why people do such acts. Like, what was the big deal about concealing the fact that you had a surrogate have the baby? Like, well, why? Why the lie? You never would know. It's just Hollywood. And what people do as a brand and what they go through, the fertility labs and the testing and all the things that Beyonce went through when she had the twins, and the fact that Diddy and Puff are thick as thieves. Diddy, Puff, and Jay-Z, whatever you want to call them, Diddy, Puff, Love, Jaguar Wright, who don't know Jay-Z. She sung with Jay-Z. Jay-Z never made a pass at her. When they went to do the shows and they did the live set, she was there, right? She really wasn't around Jay like that. And that's facts. Yeah, well, Bob Iger's not happy. When you see you got Blue Ivy and Beyonce, this is what they wanted to promote. Even though Jay-Z's her father, and he jumps into the photo like a fan, like he's photobombing. This was not the ideal photo that Disney wanted to promote with all the controversy going down. And this is why Jay came out to address it as fast and as venomously as he did to fight this and get this stuff thrown out, because it's getting ready to affect all of the business that they have on the table. See, the Knowles and Carter brand, this is something Jay had built from the start. Now, the older this goes on, the more, like when Beyonce hit her 50s, Jay would be almost going on his 80th, and when she's in her 50s, it goes into, when something is off, you see people already react and move differently because they see it's off. Now, this Usher and Diddy thing is like, come on. It's a lot of it is salaciousness. Tina Knowles is way more dirtier than you guys would ever imagine. She's got way more dirt than a lot of these people would even fathom. And she's basing it all off of Diddy's success. She drove her own husband away based off of it. Her evilness, her narcissist ways, and her way she demeans and talk down upon, and she drove her own husband away. Solange, she doesn't have anything to do with her sister anymore. A wedge was drawn in between them, and that was her bodyguard, her baby sister, and now Jay's finally pulled Beyonce away from her. And she knows now that my sister's changed, and she's changed forever, and that's just that. What we're going to end up doing is going through life, and when you go through life, there are so many different things about life that we go through in events that we want changed, and it don't happen quick enough, so people take, shortcuts, and that's what you want to stay away from. You want to stay away from those moments, those shortcuts, those shortcomings. Right? You want to take those routes. I don't know what's gonna happen with the Beyonce and Blue Ivy thing. I think they're gonna recover and be okay. But people are not running to the movie theaters to see Mufasa. Now, whether that's Jay-Z fault or whether the success of Sonic. Sonic is a fun movie. You know, Sonic already has the video game fans that's gonna be there. Plus, all the little kids want to see it. Plus, it's got a lot of competition with Moana 2. Moana 2 is doing great. You know, that's going on $1 billion. So that the success of Moana 2 is still thriving. And, you know, it's just one of those things. And you'll never know how, you know, how much this stuff really matters in the end. But this is why Jay's trying to get ahead of this thing, because this new deal is $250 million up front, but you talking about Beyonce producing and getting points into this. This is, you're looking at $1 billion. This is $1 billion deal, and, you know, and Jay know that this Disney deal is for real. That Disney money is something he's trying to get into, and Beyonce and his daughter, you know, attached to it. You know, he can get clients in there, market it with Rock Nation, with Disney. You know, this is something that's major. So to have these allegations go on, and he's already got the NFL, and the NFL is backing him, but these claims and stuff has to disappear, or the NFL won't be able to explain why they were able to stand by Jay-Z and not the people that actually play on their field. So, you know, with that being said, though, don't forget to go on the Patreon, because we got all the backstories, or all the stuff in detail that's missing, and this, you know, drawing out things that we don't discuss here, we share on the Patreon. So definitely check that out, the Carcino for Life Patreon. Thanks for everybody who super chat, hit the like button, and I appreciate you, and I'm out.